What's up, Sushi Squad? We back if it's more Trove. And no, the title is not clickbait. You're not being lured or anything like that. There is, out of nowhere, the test server is online for Trove on PC, and it has a Chloromancer rework. Well, how the tables have turned. Crazy, right? Like, the Chloromancer actually got a rework of all things. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to read through the test server patch notes, and then we'll try the character out. I haven't tried anything, but I can already see based on the little pictures that our abilities have completely been overhauled. So my buddy Joe ended up mentioning that the ultimate ability has been changed significantly as well. So I'm really hoping to see a big difference. I am at 36k power rank. And I do have almost ideal, like, perfect stats. I don't know. It's looking pretty good as far as our stats are concerned. But my gem, my class gem isn't 100% ideal. Look at the attack speed on this thing, though. Like, geez Louise. Crazy. Anyways, the other thing, too, that I gotta let you guys keep in mind just before we get started with this is how the test server ends up working. So the test server is on the PC version of the game only, and you'll end up opening up the glyph launcher or just opening it up through Steam, and you'll see in the top right there's going to be an option for North American and European players, and then there should be an option for PTS, which is the public test server. Now, on the live server of Trove, you can always type /export_account, one word, and that'll end up basically exporting your account to the test server. It takes about 10 minutes before it ends up finishing its process, so keep that in mind. But then you'll end up hopping on the test server and you have everything that you already had, which is perfect because I was just going through the 35k series and we ended up actually just covering the Chloromancer, so this will be a perfect example where we'll get to see the differences, you know, so I'm really excited about it. Now, the thing is, on the test server, you can't buy anything out of the shop, so don't get super excited that you got all of these items sitting in your inventory and blah, blah, blah. Either way, I'm excited, so let's just get into it. So, Chloromancer updates and then additional updates. That's all they've got that they're talking about today. So, current Chloromancer was lacking overall damage and healing utility. True, sure. The goal of this revamp was to increase the effectiveness of the Chloromancer's plants and make the class more effective against bosses, which is actually good because bosses is the strongest enemies in the game. We revamped the class with the following changes. So the passive is a new ability called Mini Bloom. Basic attacks have a 40% chance to spawn plants near enemies. They will explode in a burst of pollen that heals allies by 5%. 5% of what? And deals 1000% magic damage to enemies. Okay, so it deals, I guess it heals 5% of your total magic damage? So what would that end up being? Does that end up going off of your base, or does it actually scale off of all of this? Let's see. 5% of 325,000. That would be 16k. And that's random whether or not those things hit. So it's not really that great. I mean, it depends how often they end up spawning, but we'll see if there's other healing capabilities on top of that. Healing mini blooms will make them explode faster, and there is a maximum of 4 of them out at a time. Okay. So your basic attack fires solar energy that damages enemies and heals allies. It kind of always did. Heals allies for 4% of their maximum health, up from 2%. Wow. And plants for 18% of its maximum health, up from 12%. So basically, when we throw down a plant, we'll get it supercharged to maximum health slightly faster. So it used to do it at 12%, now it's at 18. Okay, cool. Primary ability, new ability, Green Gatling. Whoa. Okay, so that is that's the class gem ability, but they made it just your normal right click now, and it's a turret. Ooh, that uptime though. So that means that these guys will actually be able to do stacking damage. That already is going to make such a huge difference. So throws a seed that grows into a plant. It will fire at nearby enemies, dealing 140% magic damage every shot. Well, it depends how often they shoot, but oh my god. Healing plants make them grow faster. You can have a maximum of 3 of these out at a time. So this character is going to be very, very much focused on spamming units. It seems like they do that a lot with their reworks, isn't it? You know, like even Tomb Raider, which I think was the most recent rework, you're pretty much spamming your allies at all times now. So your second ability, which is your number 1, is the Leafy Lasher. Lob a seed that grows into a plant over 2 seconds. Once fully grown, it spins around. So they changed it so that this is our spin plant. It spins around continually, snares and damages enemies for 175% magic damage, down from 215. Okay. Every 0.4 seconds. Oh, it does the attack every 0.4 seconds. You can have a maximum of 2 of them up at a time, and the healing plant will help it grow faster. Lasher's damage stacks, and radius has also been increased. Okay, that already was the big problem with these guys, as we'd already talked about and covered, was that if you had 2 of them out at a time, only 1 of them would be doing damage. Which we do seem to have increased cooldown on all of our abilities, which is pretty nuts. So outside of using, like if we used chromatic and stuff, like let me swap chromatic. Let me also get the ally. That will actually end up reducing cooldown, because now that is actually like a mandatory thing on this character. Which is the one? Puck, that's it. Okay, so what about now? So basically we would go into a dungeon, pop 1 flask down, get both of these guys going, spam our right click basically the whole time, so that this would be our ideal. 2 of these and 3 of these, because that's the maximum that you can have, right? Yeah. Okay, anyways, let's continue on. So the ultimate ability is a new ability now called Empowered Growth. Empowers the Leafy Lasher and Green Gatling to be larger versions. Green Gatling deals increased damage up to 450% magic damage, while the Leafy Lasher Snare gains additional effectiveness, reducing movement speed by 100%. So I guess it just snares enemies in general. So the class gems gotta be different too then, right? So, wait a minute. Plant power. When empowered growth is active, the Chloromancer heals nearby plants and allies. Oh, okay. So, so one thing that ended up happening, you guys may or may not have caught it a couple years back, is they ended up changing the class gem ability of the Fey Trickster, right? But they didn't replace the current class gem ability, so you had to literally go out of your way to get the new class gem, but you could still have the old one, which was really weird. But anyway, so when empowered growth, which is the ultimate, is active, the Chloromancer heals nearby plants and allies. Allies are healed 15% every second for 12 seconds. That's actually not bad. So that you might actually be a pretty good healer for once. Damn, that's crazy. So additional updates. Fixed very rare situations where a delve could be created with no layer. Okay. Updated the description for active delve depths to reference whether the player is in public, private, or challenge delves. That's kind of nice. Enemy names have been added to trophies to make it easier to associate the delta lith effects with those enemies. Okay, whatever, just more delve stuff. Made combat text for minion damage more consistently purple. Fixed an issue where several collection entries had the cannot be traded message. Fixed an issue that could cause the client to react slowly when /getWorldID was used in multiple times. Okay, not really anything super duper crazy impressive with the additional changes, but you guys can check that out for yourselves. Now, I guess what we'll do, so I'm noticing that we're actually kind of a little bit on time already, so I think what we're going to do today is we're going to show the Chloro's gameplay a little bit here, but maybe I'll have another video. His wasn't animating, that's weird. I'll have another video or do a stream or something where we'll get to like really dive deep into the Chloromancer, because I just kind of wanted to have this video as a quick announcement to let you guys know that this is here and you can test it out. And then as for me, I kind of want to learn the character, so we'll just try a couple dungeons rather than actually going into the delves and seeing like some big mega damage. So we're doing 6.4 mil right there. But we did see the exploding plant right there actually did a lot of damage and cleared all of them. I didn't catch what the damage was on that. But 6 mil is already pretty good as far as our damage is concerned. I really want to see what the exploding plants do, though. Dang it, I killed everything. Okay. I mean, that's already really good, the fact that we can kind of kill stuff. And I mean, the thing that I'm most excited about with this is it means that we can actually main Chloromancer again. Because I was just talking in my 35k video about how the Chloromancer is aesthetically, like style-wise, one of my favorite characters. But the abilities are just so astronomically bad that it just didn't work out. So let me see if I can get one of my little baby plants to spawn. Let's see what the exploding damage does. So that's gonna do, come on, 64 mil. Ooh, okay, that's pretty good then. I mean, they're random whether they show up. Let's see what our little turret guy does. 9 mil. He just destroyed that enemy. He killed it too quick. I didn't get to see how quickly the shots are and how consistent they are. I'm assuming it's just the old class gem ability. But already, this is such huge changes, dude, to this character. So let's see what it's gonna do now. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, it does a machine gun, then it takes a short break. It only really got to shoot once before it despawned, which is pretty crazy. But it is doing like 9 mil, so that's nuts, dude. It seems like maybe it only attacks once before it ends up going away. Like, it only really gets the chance to shoot. It also is a little bit too delayed, for my opinion. One of the things that I think that the devs seem to be very, very much lacking whenever it comes to reworking characters, that they don't seem to realize how important uptime is. So in the odd chance that the devs are watching this video, or somebody, you know, is talking with the devs directly about all this stuff, I would like to see the attack speed increased. Not necessarily the attack speed, but the time before this turret attacks. I'd like to see that increased, because otherwise I feel like the class is still not 100% viable. Also, this turret seems to only attack in one direction, and then that's it. Like, it seems like it just shoots at one enemy, and then it just idles in like a standard direction and doesn't really do anything else. So that's a little bit disappointing as far as an ability is concerned. You know, like, I would kind of like to see it do a little bit more. But let's try our number 1. So that's the spinning lashers. That's actually doing 11 mil. Is that because I popped a flask? Jesus Christ. I kind of want to... Okay, let me see if I can pop one off over here. Just by an enemy. Let's see what it ends up doing to him. Yeah, it's actually doing 11 mil. That's not even with a flask. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. And that's like bang, bang. Yeah, that's like bop, 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 bop. That's really good, dude. Like, all of these abilities combined obviously are going to end up making a huge difference. Then our ultimate ability... Oh boy. Ooh, and it makes big chunkest versions of them, where it does 28 mil now. Whoa, that's a really cool ult. That's actually so dope. It actually looks really good. Outside of, I noticed, I don't know if that's on purpose. Are the video effects supposed to slowly just float into space and go away, or are they supposed to stay on the ground? I don't know. That's really cool. So I want to see, let's get our ult again, because I want to see what our number 1 does when we have our ult out. So how much more damage? 20 mil. So it basically doubles the damage of all of our plants, which is pretty crazy. Our base attack doesn't seem to go up. Also, now for some reason the glow of our ult is not... Oh, there it is. Okay. Why is it... Okay, and it... What is this weird moon underneath me? I'm not using anything Lunar Lancer related. Why was the moon under me? I feel like that's a glitch. That's clearly not supposed to happen. Dang, dude, that's insane, though. The fact that they ended up actually doing a full rework of the character. Well, we'll have another video where we're going to dive really, really deep into how powerful the character can end up being. That's for darn sure. Yes, he's still a little lacking in terms of killing bosses. It's not that our damage is lacking. It's the fact that our plants are still, like, really, really stupid and just don't end up targeting and don't end up attacking quick enough. Because the biggest problem with you know, characters in general, and what kind of separates the strong characters from the weak characters, is how quickly is their uptime to actually doing damage on the bosses. You know, and I can see already we're running into some big problems where our right click turret, it seems like that's a glitch, because even with our ult, it shot once and then it just stopped and it didn't do anything else. So that's that clearly needs fixed. Takes way too long for it to actually shoot, and it seems to just generally be really glitchy, where it just doesn't want to shoot at things. Like, it's not aggressive enough. Yeah, so this is a really good step in the right direction, but it clearly still needs some work. They've got to iron out these bugs before this goes live, please, because I want to be able to main this character, but the turret itself, like you can see, it just, that's it. It's already done, and that's it. This ultimate ability, though, this is really cool. I would love to see if they end up making this ability work with like costumes and stuff, like just further down the line. I'm excited to see what modders end up doing with it. But anyways, yeah, so the character's still pretty lacking. So the classroom ability makes it so that when your ult is active, Chloromancer heals nearby plants and allies. So what does the ult do in general? Oh, it just makes, so your ult just makes them larger versions, and then it's our class gem ability that actually has this real cool healing buff going on that for some weird reason is using the moon video effects. Seems like that's a glitch. Still, that's really cool. And then it seems like it's just whenever you launch your babies out, they're gonna end up being fully grown. This plant sucks. This one's terrible. Your spinning lasher is great. The fact that it can overlap its damage is really good. And I actually kind of like the fact that they're putting a limiter on the amount of plants that you can summon. It makes it feel a lot more intentional as a character. So yeah, anyways, we'll have another video where we'll end up exploring the Chloromancer in Delves. Obviously, you know, this is the test server, so a lot of things can end up changing before it goes live. And I would like to see, more specifically, just this right-click plant I feel is lacking. I also think that either they would need to reduce the cooldown between casting these abilities or make it so that your ultimate ability lasts a little longer, because otherwise I'm finding that we can only really cast one of each, and then we don't even get to cast another one. Well, actually, we do seem to get cast one of each. No, just one of the spinner. Oh, that actually still counted. Okay, so we get to cast two of each before our ultimate ends up running out. So that's actually not bad. Obviously, I'm still not using chromatic. That's also using an ally puck that ends up reducing our cooldown. So that's definitely how you'll end up building the character. But either way, we can explore a lot of this more like the further we get. It's kind of crazy because I was actually getting a 35k video ready for you guys today, and then suddenly it was like, oh, test server is on and Chloromancer's there. So, well, I guess this video is going up today instead. Either way, that's really exciting. And I really, really love the changes, but it just needs a little bit of extra work. Most of all, the shooting plant it feels broken, like it's just not working correctly. So hopefully they iron that out. And then in general, again, the uptime needs to be a little bit quicker for me. Maybe, you know, the big thing is we'll see when we end up fighting a Delves creature or something, if the damage output is high enough to compete with other characters, even at the cost of taking a little bit longer to build up, because Tomb Raiser ends up doing that too, where Tomb Raiser takes a long time to get to the maximum damage, but once you do, it's great damage. You know, you're really, really powerful. So I'm excited to explore the rest of these changes with you guys. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm rambling now. I'm just so excited, dude. Thanks for watching. Smash the like, sub for more. Buy the merch you want to support the channel, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Sayonara, and stay epic, gamers.